I took a chance on myself. Ash by Elegance will do anything put in her path, and that's something Dana Brooke I don't think ever would do. I always say that Dana Brooke walks a very fine line, never crosses the line. Ash by Elegance will not be overlooked. One of those advocates of mine were Mickie James, and now seeing her being inducted. So it is awesome, and I cannot wait to congratulate her and give her a big hug. I say this all the time. These women are hungry, and when I saw that, I was like, I really need to step my game up, but I knew I had it deep down inside of me. I was just never given that chance to do it. I get this opportunity to go fight for a promotion that took a chance in me and that truly believed in me in an NXT ring. It was surreal.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.
My guest today has ushered us all in to the Elegance era. She's representing TNA and the Knockouts division with not one but two titles that you could see there on the road to Bound for Glory. One half of the TNA Knockouts Tag Champ, and of course the TNA Knockouts World Champion. Please welcome Ash by Elegance.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction.
Absolutely. And look at, how heavy is this to travel around with two belts now?
Extremely heavy. Listen, TSA pulled my back today. They're like, this is really heavy. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, do you have titles in there? I go, not only one, but two. So yes, it is so heavy. Lifting it into the overhead compartment space is quite difficult sometimes, but I got the muscles.
You got the muscles, yeah. And I like that TSA knew too. They just looked at you. They're like, she's definitely got championship belts in there. We know.
Yes, 100%. How would they know? I have no idea. No, but through the scanners and stuff, because my bag gets pulled every single time. So I'm like, yeah, it's mine. And they want to take pictures with it. And I'm like, come on, I got a flight to catch.
It is awesome to have you here with so many exciting things happening in TNA right now. We've not only got Bound for Glory, but we've got, for the first time ever, Victory Road in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is live on the TNA app as well. That's for this Friday. And you will have a much anticipated title defense against Masha Slamovich there. How are you feeling to that one?
I'm super excited. Everything leading up to this moment has been everything. The builds from coming from NXT, capturing this title. I'm actually here in Lowell, Massachusetts right now. We'll be here back in October for Bound for Glory. It's just a full circle moment. It's been truly amazing just to see the growth between the two brands, to see the eyes and the traction that TNA has brought, and all these pay-per-views just knocking them out of the park, one after another is awesome. I think our roster is just stacked with the best of the best talent around the world, and may the best woman win. I truly believe in my girls, the Elegance brands, along with myself, but I know every single one of those girls are hungry, and we have a big target on our back, and we're ready for it.
Yeah, I'm sure the frustration must be building too, right? Masha just destroyed that Picasso painting that the Elegance brand got you to celebrate your win.
How disrespectful. That cost thousands of dollars. That was absolutely beautiful. I didn't get to even get a close-up look of that, but that's exactly what I'm going to do to her face come Friday, for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. But still, of course, let the best knockout win there. But you've really had such an inspiring journey from WWE to TNA now, and really one of a kind of everything we're seeing happening with you now as a double champ in TNA. To bring it all back, we saw you make your first appearance at Hard to Kill last year. Was that the first time that you got to see the TNA product up close like that?
Yes, and it was something to see. I say this all the time through many different interviews and podcasts, but these women are hungry. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I really need to step my game up. But I knew I had it deep down inside of me. I was just never been able to do it or given that chance to do it. And I know TNA was going to bring it out of me with the best girls being in the ring. I watched Jordan Grace from the moment I stepped foot into the TNA locker room. And then just seeing all the girls that are there, Tasha, Masha has been awesome. Zaya Brookside, I saw her when she was a little girl, when I was wrestling in NXT, and her father trained me, and then seeing where she came from and where she is now has been awesome. I mean, Steph DeLander, seeing her growth too, not only as an in-ring competitor, but being with Mance as well too. It's truly amazing that a company believes in their talent so much and allows them to spread their wings and fly. Because sometimes you don't get to see someone's true potential unless they're given a chance to.
And I've heard you say that Tommy Dreamer was a big proponent for you specifically, right? And to help motivate you on this TNA run. What were some of those early conversations like with Tommy? Was he helping you kind of see your true potential?
Yeah, from the moment I had spoke to Tommy Dreamer, I knew who Tommy Dreamer was. Tommy Dreamer was like, he is a legend.
Mhm.
And when he had called me, and I was like, oh my God, Tommy, I would see him backstage at some events at WWE. I would always see him doing podcasts and interviews. But then when he's like, "Oh, I know exactly who you are, kid," and I was like, "You know who I am? Like, yeah, me?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I just feel as though you have something inside of you that needs to be brought out, and we can showcase it. And I believe in you. You have the talent." He's like, "I've spoken to some of your coworkers, and they believe in you, and they back you 100%." And that meant so much because my work ethic is like no one else's. And I can, bet myself on that time and time again because what I put in is like nobody else does. I mean, I'm so dedicated. I absolutely do everything that is asked of me. I never put up a fuss,
Mhm.
and for my coworkers to go out there and say that, and Tommy to be like, I see that in you, just meant everything to me because I just knew that this was the time and the place. And I never really knew that there was a life outside of WWE. And then when TNA was brought into my lap, another promotion was also brought into my lap. And I really had to kind of weigh it out. And what TNA had to offer was this creative freedom, a new chance to reinvent myself, people that believed in me, the women's locker room that I had seen with my own two eyes, going into Hard to Kill. I was like, yep, this is the place. So it was awesome. And one of those advocates of mine were Mickie James. And now seeing her being inducted, it's just awesome. I've been in the ring with her many times over at WWE. I know she came from TNA, was back at TNA, went to the Royal Rumble with a title from TNA. So it is awesome. And I cannot wait to congratulate her and give her a big hug.
I was gonna say, yeah, that Mickie James announcement was awesome to see. As someone who, watched Hardcore Country really come up through TNA as a fan, so cool to see her getting the recognition she deserves. Is that maybe a dream match for Ash by Elegance down the line?
Definitely. I would love to run it back. Mickie James versus Ash by Elegance. She's wrestled Dana Brooke, but Ash by Elegance is a whole different person. So I would absolutely love to step foot in the ring with her. But, more than that, she's a dear friend of mine. Her and I speak, here and there. We always keep in touch and catch up and things like that. And there's not one other person that has paved the way in TNA and also in WWE like she has. She was a mentor to me, a lot of other girls in that WWE locker room, and I know I can speak on her behalf and the TNA locker room's behalf that she was a mentor to a lot of those girls as well.
And it was cool too, paving the way. I think she was one of the first, if not the first. I think it was the first time the Knockouts title was brought down to a WWE ring in
It
Royal.
was.
Yeah.
I remember I was at that Royal Rumble too, and she had left WWE. She went to TNA, and when she had come back, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're crushing it!" And she's like, "Yeah," and she had that title with her, and I was like, you're gonna do, she's like, yeah, they're letting me, bring the TNA title. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And, it just shows that like woman empowerment, that if you can't do it there, you can do it somewhere else as well. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're picking up that torch that Mickie put down there. For anyone watching you right now as Ash by Elegance, but has mainly seen you as Dana Brooke, what would you say the biggest difference is between Dana Brooke and Ash by Elegance?
I took a chance on myself. Character-wise, Ash by Elegance will do anything put in her path, whether you like it or not. And that's something Dana Brooke, I don't think ever would do. I always say that Dana Brooke kind of is how I am in like real life, walks a very fine line, never crosses the line, is always, striving to be better and better and better. But Ash for Elegance will not be overlooked. She will do anything at any chance, any way, any shape or form to be seen, to be recognized. And that's definitely the difference here. I mean, Ash for Elegance in-ring ability is something completely different from Dana Brooke.
Mhm.
And also my character work as well too. I'm very over the top, cocky. I mean, the moment you go through the curtain, I say this all the time, you don't have to watch a day of wrestling in your life to know, oh, I don't like that girl because she's so into herself. And that's exactly what I want. I want people to be able to sink their teeth into my match as far as wrestling and also entertainment goes, because you might have a little girl in the crowd, 3 or 4 years old, and looking at my sparkly outfits and me telling her, ew, and then she not like me, or an old, a grandparent that's bringing their child that has been a wrestling fan to be like, oh, I like this other girl that she's beating up and I feel bad for her. So it just, that's something that WWE had taught me as well too, is the storytelling part of things. So I feel like I've been able to help in the TNA locker room with the girls as telling stories and bringing character and character development out, because really it's not always about the moves and it's not always about the in-ring ability and skills. It's about the storytelling and being able to capture the audience.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned the creative aspect and like the just seeing it and instantly getting it. I think Ash by Elegance, the entire Elegance brand does that so well with the celebrations, the attires, the entrance and the theme and everything. Can you talk about how some of those creative aspects came to be and like just crafting the persona to what it is now?
Yeah, most definitely. So I went to school for fashion merchandising and design in college. So I was like, that's kind of like who I am to a point. I like nice things. I like always fashionable things, the latest trends. Um, and then on top of it, Tommy had approached me and was like, look, we can put a manager with you, like a concierge type person. I was like, great. I think that is key. I think that's what this character needs, is somebody that really worships the ground she walks on, kisses, every inch she moves and makes, will do whatever she possibly wants. And it just kind of all came to life the moment I met my personal concierge. I just saw the vision. I saw how he carried himself. I saw how he was on the mic. Throughout TNA, there has been some changes as far as the writing team in the office goes. So like the character development has kind of gone through some transitions, but it was a perfect storytelling. It has been, because in the beginning I was like, oh, Ash will say less is more, so I'll just keep my mouth shut and let my concierge do the talking. And then as time went on, with different, changes, they were like, no, have Ash say more. And then the more I was talking, I was like, oh, I can really rev this character up a bit.
Yeah.
And then it works. So it was like my personal concierge fed off of me. And then I was so over the top and like my tantrums that I throw. And then I told my personal concierge, hey, and I told creative this as well, why don't we like grow the brand, like make it like a brand thing, and do makeovers and things like that. So it's been such a great growth with the Elegance brand, and I think there's so many more exciting things in the pipeline, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I think that the Elegance brand overall, I feel we could see grow even to more more TNA roster members maybe. But the chemistry you have already with the Elegance brand right now is awesome. Yeah, your personal concierge, he sets up the crowd perfectly, I think, for you to make your grand appearance.
Yes, he really does. And he knows how to get those people revved up, let's just say the least.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. As you sit there holding two titles right now, I've got to ask what was going through your mind as you returned almost 2 years to the day, I heard you say, to NXT and brought that TNA Knockouts World Championship back home, where it belongs, of course.
If you would have asked me in my wildest dream, I would have said this would never have happened. If you told me the moment I was released that, hey, listen, stay calm, don't worry, something's big's gonna happen and you're gonna be back here. Just like Shawn Michaels told me, is like, we're gonna see you back here. He had mentioned that and he told me never give up. I was like, yeah, trust me, I'm gonna keep going, but I don't know. And then I kept seeing people like get called back and rehired. And I was just like, no, it's not gonna be me, it's not gonna be me. But in a way, then I get this call and I get this opportunity to go fight for a promotion that took a chance in me and that truly believed in me in an NXT ring. It was surreal
Yeah,
because I again say this so many times, I never burnt bridges. And I feel as though that I since I didn't burn bridges, they wanted me back and understood that, listen, this is what's best for business, and we are going to give Ashley her flowers and capture that TNA title back in a WWE ring. And, my fairy tale's not over with, but if it had to be, this was the way I would want to go out.
yeah. And you mentioned Shawn Michaels there, and I've heard you say how important he's been to, your motivation as well. Did he have any congratulatory words after that big win?
Yes, I was so nervous going into the match. And he looked at me and he's like, smile, just smile. Go out there and do what you've done 100 times. Just go out there. And when I came back, he was congratulating me. He gave me such a big hug, praising me. Matt Bloom was back there too, who I had started with as well too. And it was just to see, they've seen my hard work. They've seen what I've done. They've seen me always want more. They've always seen me doing the job for the other girls on the NXT roster and WWE roster, always thinking maybe my moment would come, and it just never did. To the moment where I was released and they had, no clue, and they were shocked as well and told me never to give up. You can always tell people to never give up, but ultimately it's that person's decision. And I've seen a lot of people leave WWE and kind of just, I wouldn't say give up, but just be complacent and be okay with, all right, my time is up and that's it, and go a different path, which is fine. But I took those words and I took them to my heart and I was like, you know what, I'm never going to give up. And I kept going.
Yeah.
And not everybody, I mean, not anyone. I'm the only one that was able to go back to show them, like, hey guys, I took your words and I took your advice. I never gave up. And look, I captured a title in your ring where you guys believed in me. And it was just such an amazing experience. And then also having our president, Carlos,
Mhm.
who, as I had mentioned before, we've been through some changes within TNA. And I wouldn't want a better president than Carlos. Carlos is so outgoing, so personable, so driven, so true to his brand. He wants his brand to succeed. It is so amazing. So I was able to look at him in the crowd and tell him, I'm going to bring this home. And that's exactly what I did.
That's awesome. You're literally paving the way now, as you mentioned with Mickie James earlier. This is now you making a path that nobody's ever done before. And that's so cool to see.
Thank you.
Absolutely. One more question. You won that knockout title back from JC Jane, and you used rarefied air to do it, that Swanton that you've been hitting. I'm curious how you came up with that, how you landed that as your finisher, but also being on the TNA roster with the master of Swantons. Has Jeff ever said anything about that move?
No, that was, but I started doing that when I was in WWE and Jeff was in WWE as well. So I had kind of
Oh,
asked
cool.
him back way back in the day. And he's like, no, absolutely not. He goes, listen, you're a female. You look better doing it. Go and do it. And then, it was like, it was so weird because I was back in TNA, not knowing that they would come back. And they came back. And I mean, still, Jeff and Matt do not age. Jeff hits that move every single night and it's so beautiful, so spectacular. I'm like, no, yours looks better than mine, but it's awesome. And then Tom Hannafin, who is not my biggest fan on commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not so
but
much.
he actually helped me come up with the name Rarefied Air, which is awesome. And Tom and I, and also Matt, Aiden English from NXT WWE. It's so awesome. We go back in time too. So them being able to like go back and forth with one another on commentary, knowing who I am, where I've come from. It's just awesome to see everyone grow together in a company that actually takes chances on their talent.
Hmm. No, absolutely. And congrats again on all the success. I mean, it's awesome to see you representing TNA in such a huge way right here. And like I said, we got Victory Road coming up fast, and then after that, Bound for Glory, TNA doing awesome things right now. Any final words heading into that match with Masha Slamovich?
No, just stay tuned because that night is going to be definitely one to remember from not only myself, but also with the Elegant brand.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.